Exposing 9 worrying behaviors suffer from narcissist victims who live like crazy people. Ever wondered if you are dealing with a narcissist's mental abuse? You're not alone. Listening to others' experiences could be the key to figuring out how to handle your own situation better. But here's a caveat. Acting based on your emotions could shatter your chances of finding love and happiness in your personal life. Changes in people's behavior have multiple complex causes. Emotions are tricky. They could be a reflection of someone's actions. As with any other aspect of life, however, behavior can be modified and the effects of psychological duress can be mitigated. In this must-watch video, we will discuss 9 indicators that a person may have been abused by a narcissist. Therefore, brace up and prepare to take notes. Number 1. Unrelenting anxiety and depression. Do you know someone who can never shake off their perpetual sense of anxiety and melancholy? How many times have you tried to ensure their safety? What's the root of the problem? Could the narcissist be inflicting mental abuse upon them? Being the perpetual target of someone's ire is draining and far slower to heal than a simple bruise treated with cold compresses. Mental abuse leaves lasting scars. If the abuser is someone the victim cannot avoid or interacts with regularly, verbal abuse lurks, subtle but genuinely devastating. Positivity and joy seem impossible when one anticipates worse abuse in the future. The despair can be so overwhelming that death seems the only option, even if nothing remotely close has occurred. Seeing a doctor is essential if this happens, as the future is anything but certain. Number 2. Obedience issues. Those who follow orders are satisfied with doing what is expected of them, nothing more. An obedient person carries out commands, even if they run counter to their morals and beliefs. Compromising entails giving in to pressure and doing what you'd rather not. Victims of mental abuse harden their resolve to protect themselves from further attacks. Relationships with the abuser and / or others may be crucial to them. Number 3. Self-doubt and unwillingness to take advice. The debilitating effects of mental abuse are well documented by those who have experienced it. Victims carry a sense of shame and helplessness, coming across as weak and vulnerable. Discussing the trauma is often avoided due to feelings of embarrassment, creating a wrong impression. Abusers coerce their victims into questioning their identity, triggering detrimental mental health consequences. Repeated exposure to such cruelty has long-lasting trust issues. Mental abuse forces one to question their abilities while rendering them incapable of accepting any advice. Number 4. Uncontrolled emotions and actions. The brain serves as the master controller of the human body, and its tyranny is palpable. It takes in information, processes it, and decides its course of action. However, mental abuse robs individuals of control, causing a violent reaction in their body's systems. One loses control over their emotions, desires, and impulses, leading to disastrous consequences without any moderation. People say and do things that they later regret. Number 5. Irrationality and emotional responses. Excessively intense reactions to stimuli, such as hysteria or hypersensitivity, are common. Psychopaths rob their victims of their rational abilities, indoctrinating them with false beliefs that may not always be biased or harmful. Victims' behavior and thinking are affected, rendering them irrelevant in the psychopath's worldview. False accusations or harsh judgment leads to natural intimidation and fuels irrational responses. Number 6. Despair and doom. Do you know someone whose default mood is always somber? Someone who just wants to exist rather than live? A victim of mental abuse may lose faith in their ability to face future hardships. Pessimism, either deliberate or unconscious, dominates their outlook on life. Feelings of hopelessness and defeat are common manifestations of mental abuse. Sadness is a natural response to this humiliation, and losing self-confidence can lead to the belief that one doesn't deserve happiness. Taking measures to avoid harm becomes paramount. Number 7. Inefficiency. Mental abuse inescapably leads to a loss of interest in once pleasurable activities. Despite having all the necessary resources, victims find themselves stuck in limbo, avoiding tasks that they were previously confident in their ability to complete. Dealing with narcissists drains their positive outlook on life, poisoning their pursuit of meaningful success with pessimism that no one will appreciate their efforts. Number 8. Disregard for well-being. Recklessness in psychology refers to a disregard for one's well-being or that of others. The codependent relationship that arises from the harmful cycle of poor decision-making victims wind up in can be attributed to the intense stress caused by abusers' emotionally and psychologically draining tactics. The desire to fix the situation alone and failing create a catch-22, rendering them incapable of making sound decisions due to the emotional and psychological torture they have endured. Number 9. Disgruntled at 9. Being the target of negative comments and thoughts is distressing. The onslaught of abusive behavior naturally incites anger in victims towards their abusers, which festers into bitterness and a thirst for revenge. Seeking vengeance, rationalizing the terrible experience, and demanding justice, even from narcissists who portray empathy, eventually becomes the goal. If a narcissist has been constantly demanding favors, the victim eventually reaches the boiling point and wants to destroy them and strip them of all power. Since the victim knows the narcissist won't change, they often take their anger out on innocent bystanders instead. Number 10. Agitated. Feelings of compassion towards those who have endured emotional abuse at the hands of narcissists are hard to come by. Narcissists hold a power dynamic that inspires everyone else to fall in line due to sheer terror. Restlessness, tension, and agitation are hallmarks of this abuse, causing victims to struggle with staying seated and remaining attentive for more than a few minutes. Anxiety and stress, even over matters that pose no real danger, manifest in fidgeting and nervous movements. Nail-biting, foot-tapping, or finger-tapping on tabletops can prove surprisingly effective coping mechanisms for anxiety sufferers. However, beware. These habits may also signify something far more sinister. Narcissistic mental abuse sucks, and chances are high that you or someone you know has experience with it. For the vast majority of survivors, the onslaught of emotional or psychological abuse forces them to make changes in their behavior to adapt. These alterations may aid in their path to recovery, but don't take our word for it. Seek professional advice for top-notch results. If you found this content helpful, consider smashing the like and subscribe buttons. And if it resonated with you, be sure to check out my other videos delving into the ominous world of narcissism.
Hello everyone, thank you for watching this video. I hope all of you will get a lot of benefits from all of the explanation on this channel. And for those of you who want to ask for an explanation of certain material, please just mention it in the comments column, so that later we can discuss according to all of your requests. And don't forget to continue to support this channel by clicking like, sharing, and subscribing, so that all of you don't get left behind when we upload the last video. Okay, thank you. See you in the next video. Bye bye.